and you kind of realize, again, like you said, that person's mindset didn't necessarily grow over time. Things happen in your life that make you change a little. Things happen in that person's life that makes them change a little more. This time frame has passed, and now the things that have occurred during that time frame have changed the two of you in a certain way. And now you go back into the situation and you guys don't connect as much as you think. Okay, that situation could have worked out, but because of the time that has passed, you guys are not the same, and you think it's going to work out, but it doesn't necessarily happen that way. Now I'm a person that doesn't care for toxicity. I have a bigger plan for my future, but now that I'm back with you, the toxicity won't work for me. So therefore, this relationship can't work.
This was one of the things Alan told me, which I thought was like so great, and I've been running with it ever since, right? And this is my take on my analogy on dating an ex, right? So there's a story, an old story where there was a woman who wanted a pig. Okay, this woman wanted a pig, and she was a very rich, wealthy woman. Mm-hmm. She got the pig, she got the baby pig, and she dressed it up in all designer. She put diamonds on it, diamond necklace, everything. She made the pig everything that she wanted, right? And then as she, had the pig, one day it started to rain, right? And she got caught in the rain. Mm-hmm. And the pig almost broke her arm to jump out of her arms so it could run in mud. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, the pig is still going to be a pig. It does not matter what you want it to be. Mm-hmm. It does not matter what you want to dress it up as the same goes and the same rules applies as people. That person is what they are, and it's important to accept what they are, which is most likely, not all the time, but it's most likely the case that they are an ex and not a current.
It seems like, oh, people are who they are. Like the pig is who they are. Accept the pig or don't accept the pig. How about we blame the woman for being foolish enough to believe that she could
pig could wear Gucci?
No, that's what I'm blaming.
Okay.
Or not just the woman, but that woman in an analogy.
Yes.
I'm blaming the person to not understand that you can't make anybody be what you want them to be. Right. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how much power you have. I don't care how much popularity you have. You can't make somebody be what you want them to be. You could date a girl, you could be a guy, you could date this girl because she's beautiful, but guess what? She's not a wife. And you can't make her be a wife. You're a woman, you're dating this guy, right? And he's just an asshole. And you want a gentleman. He can't be a gentleman. And you got to understand that instead of trying to mold and change people and give people every reason to change, you just got to give yourself every reason to move on. If I had to take a poll, right? And this is just an educated guess stat. I would say 80% of people who left their ex and doubled back to their ex is because they thought that they can qualify for something bigger or better, and they don't. And so they realized that what they thought their market value was and what they thought they could obtain, they can't. So now they're trying to go back to where they technically belong. But like you said before, that doesn't mean that person is going to accept you back, especially if your ex has now climbed the charts and now they're above where you met them and you're still at the same spot where you left them. I think it's important if you're going to leave somebody, you need to make sure that you understand that you're going to come back. If you ever decide to revisit, you have to be a better version of you. You have to be a more established version of yourself. You have to be a more, equipped, whether it be assets and or wisdom, knowledge, whatever it may be. You have to have more attributes than you actually left with when you try to double back. If you try to double back and even if you're making more money but you're still the same person, you're still the same person. You know what I'm saying? So those are just my tips.
Unless money was the issue, which for the case of marriage and divorce, they say that that's the number one reason why people separate.
I want to go back and I want to tie both of your points together when you were referring to, men being able to step out of their relationship because he is the sole provider or whatever the case may be. Historically, that was the norm, right? And I want to tie that into what's happening right now in terms of doubling back, right? Some people double back after the infidelity has happened in the original relationship. You know why? Because it takes an actual conscious, aware person to understand that being unfaithful does not mean you're being disloyal. If I'm still doing everything that I was doing for you, okay? If I come home and I make you happy, if I take care of home, I take care of kids, I do everything, I'm the workhorse, but you caught me stepping outside, that doesn't mean I was disloyal. That means I was unfaithful.
I agree.
I still never stopped doing the things that I promised to provide for us. And I still never stopped, making you unhappy. Granted, if you are doing, stepping out because there is an unhappiness, that's way different.
I'm gonna
just
just go on
yeah.
a tangent a little bit. Sorry.
I love it.
But
Thought provoking.
Now, when you're with a woman, right? She's doing a lot of things to bring. When you're with a woman that you love, obviously she's bringing a lot of things to the table that you obviously need and desire. So if she steps out on you, you once said that you won't take that woman back. Why
That's
is
not what
there a
I've ever said.
difference?
Actually, in fact, I love correcting people. In fact, the way I actually got my job at 8 at the
That's all,
table,
Raven. Hold on.
the way I got my job at 8 at the table was saying that if I was doing it, especially if I was doing it as well, I got to charge it to the game. And I realized that life, first of all, I stepped out in other relationships. So if I'm in a good relationship, and most men are probably going to deny it, but I realized that most men are just going to deny it to themselves.
Mhm.
If you're in a good relationship with a woman and she steps out on you and she was still doing everything that she needed to do, granted, it depends on how she steps out. If she built the relationship, that's one thing. We're talking about like maybe a girl's trip. She fuck around and fuck Drake. I'm gonna be mad.
I think I do remember you saying, okay.
I'm gonna be like, yo, I gotta charge it to the game. You know what I'm saying?
say
That's just
that.
what happens. You know what I'm saying? But if you go out and you go get a Pico and not a Rico, then we have an issue. Like, you're not gonna go below this. Like,
No.
nah, I know you're just desperate.
Okay.
You know, but that was just to clarify.
But back to your point though, about the loyalty, disloyalty, unfaithfulness. So that is so key. When I work with my clients, I ask them, what do you want? Like the notebook, like, what do you want?
Yeah.
And many times people use this term of, I want someone who's loyal. And that's not the way Google it. Are we sure that the words that you are using and the app that you're looking for is actually descriptive of what you want? And that's exactly it. Like, I want someone who's faithful.
Mhm.
Okay, so then that's a different animal. So I agree with you 100% in that regard. Back to your comment though of how many times are we going to accept the unfaithfulness? Like,
Right.
what are the circumstances? Like you said, the Drake versus the Pico. Like, what are the circumstances that are? I didn't want to use that word, but
It is
right,
what it is,
like
yeah.
acceptable. And then also in your case, you said charge it to the game if you were doing dirt. If you weren't doing the dirt,
No, I'm talking about even previously.
yeah. In the
I've
past.
already did my. Listen, karma is coming. I don't know how she coming, but if it coming, like, well, I guess that's what I deserve. This is what happens.
So you just
You know.
want to just
I done
deal
felt
with
that
it.
way.
I know what I was. Listen, I know everything that I did in my life. It wasn't the most reasonable, right? But you see the foot tap.
I do think that disloyalty and unfaithfulness can go hand in hand though, because you're unfaithful but still be loyal to me. Like, I understand what Rico was saying, like he's still doing all of these things, but what are you telling this side bitch? Like, what are you telling this girl that you're cheating? Are you saying like my wife at home is a piece of shit, like, oh, she's so annoying, blah blah blah? You're disloyal.
Yes.
But if you be like, I'm fucking you, but I love my wife. Like, I'm not leaving her. This is not like we're not gonna be in a relationship. Like, I love her. I'm going back. That is loyal.
I
How
can't.
you talk
That's
about
me
me?
right there.
How you talk about me behind
Love
my back is you being loyal to me.
Mhm.
So I feel like that goes.
And they love it. They love it. Women love that. It's sickening.
Ew.
Women love.
And not me.
If you tell a girl,
No way.
yo,
They
listen,
happen over here.
we about to
Me,
mess
I'll be loyal.
if we about to mess around